Need expert commercial finance brokers? Real Finance are a national firm led by seasoned bankers, offering unmatched expertise and extensive networks. They understand business and the banking market inside out, using their knowledge to structure and present your borrowing requests for the best income. They have strong relationships with specialist lenders eager to support entrepreneurs and businesses, providing unique and competitive financial solutions designed specifically for you. Ready to elevate your business? Contact Real Finance today and they will achieve your financial goals. Welcome back to the second episode of Mums in Property Season 1. We're your co-hosts, Chloe
and Jade.
Thank you for joining us today. So, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What about yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. So what have you been up to since I last seen you?
Been to Disney with the kids. So on the last episode, I was talking about taking time out and like regrouping with the family and stuff, having some quality time. So that was really good. We drove
This
as well.
was Disneyland Paris, wasn't it?
Disneyland Paris, yeah.
How was it driving?
It was
the kid?
absolutely fine. So we stayed in a hotel. We broke it up a little bit. So we stayed in a hotel the day we went down, and then we stayed in a hotel on the day we travelled back. So he just broke it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The kids were so excited.
Aww.
Although, when I announced it to Ellie, it's like I'd did a little reveal because she didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
It was a bit of an anticlimax. I expected this massive kind of reaction, going wild, and she just went, "All right, thanks." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Was hoping for a little more than that.
But bless her, when we got in the car, she went, "Oh, Mummy, Daddy, thank you so much for taking me." So yeah, she was really grateful about that, and it was really good on the way down in the car. So it was really good.
Terms of like their age, how was it?
It was great. Ellis was the right age. Enzo, there was still so much to do with him.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think I had another queue in me. Like the queues are so long.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you were the queues long.
But it was really good. So you can do something what's called parent swap. So one of you and the child can queue up.
Yeah.
And then because obviously
it's long.
You've got obviously another child and whatnot. The parent can just get a ticket. You have to pay an extra for it,
good.
and you can just swap.
Oh,
so you
that's good.
You're still probably a little bit of a queue because you go into the priority bit.
How long were the queues?
Oh God, the longest we queued in was 75 minutes.
Oh, that's hard.
So there were a couple of rides that Ellis could only go on, and there were some rides that obviously she was still too small for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. Really good. Yeah, it was really
nice
good.
to have some quality.
Yeah, the Christmas parades and stuff, and it was just the weather was really good.
Yeah, it looked really sunny.
On the Saturday, when we was all queued out, it started to rain, so it kind of made our decision to leave at that time.
You'd done what you wanted to do.
Yeah. And then so that was nice to regroup with the family and have some really good quality time. And then I have been doing a bit of travelling. Went down to Essex.
You've been backpacking?
I mean, not that to extent. I mean, just a bit of driving. Went down to London then, so Essex. So someone that I knew and met at the accelerator, so the PIN accelerator course, 3 days, passed me a lead.
So are they sourcing?
They are and they're not. It just wasn't suitable for them. It didn't fit their model.
Yeah.
And it fits ours. So
are they on the mastermind or?
No, there was meant to be, but for some reason they're not now. But I think they'll be going on the next year. So I went down there. So I've been building relationships with that guy.
And what was the opportunity then?
So it's one building split into 3 flats.
Real?
Yeah. So been having some interesting conversations with a new connection that I got from the PIN dinner.
Yes.
In terms of the finance broker. So we have some really good chats with him and really focusing on what the exit strategy is. So waiting for some bridging quotes to come back. So
are you considering this opportunity in Essex?
Yes. Yeah.
And will this be with your business partner or is this
together?
amazing?
Yeah. So that's good. And then what else have I been doing? Just trying to tie up the loose ends. So following up, we had some couple of offers that we put into the lakes. So following up with them.
So have they been accepted?
One of them has, but I mean the other ones that we put in and they've been rejected. I just kind of touching base, kind of say that we're still here. Don't forget about us. And I floated the idea that we might be able to. There might be a little bit of wiggle room from our perspective. And then the deal in the lakes, just been really trying to, because it's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Just trying to really crunch the numbers and work out how we're going to fund it and things like that. And then I caught...
And how... So the one with the lakes then...
Yeah.
Offer has been accepted.
Offer's been accepted, yeah.
And how are you funding it then? Have you decided?
We're looking to raise investor finance. So we do want to add value to it. So the NGDV on it is like 1.5.
Oh, wow.
So it's a nice little deal. We've got it for a really good price. And it's just like making it still stacked. We want to bridge it, if that makes sense. We want to bridge it.
So but then bridge it and then use...
But the exit strategy needs to be like solid, because we want to put it on a buy to let, but because it's a holiday let, it needs to stack on an AST and things like that. So obviously a single AST, like buy to let mortgage, well, a single rental, what do you call it? Rent.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to, just need to fine tune it.
Yeah.
And then I caught up with Phil.
Phil Saunders.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Had a really good chat with him. Yeah, just touch base, and we're on like the similar sort of thing. So we're looking at buying that business in the Peak District, so the wedding venue.
Yes.
He's also doing something similar down south. So we said, we'll keep in touch and just share.
Oh, that's great.
About it. It was great catching up with him. What about you? What have you been up to?
So we was also away last week. We was in Center Parcs with the kids. That was really nice and just great to spend some quality time together and get into the Christmas spirit.
Do you feel Christmassy now?
Yes.
Yeah. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so nice. So yeah, that was really good.
Which one did you go to?
Sherwood.
Sherwood, yeah. That's the best one, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've not been to Center Parcs for years.
Yeah.
Used to go and do like pop-up spa days in them for a company I worked for. So I'd be there for like 3 weeks at a time.
Did you go to the spa?
No, we didn't, because it was only me and Ben.
Okay.
And we did say, we'll take it in turns. And then before we knew it, the week had gone. So no, we didn't. But yeah, it was really nice, really Christmassy. And we had a great time. Nice. So that was good. And then work-wise, I've two of the bespoke investors that I'm working for. So Lee from the PIN community, he has been out to start the works for the architectural side of it and the planning consultancy side for two of those projects. So that's moving forward, which is really good. And then I've also had 2 offers accepted.
Amazing.
On
what
2 other properties. So one's a mixed use property and one would be a HMO conversion or potentially a flip.
Yeah.
And
there's options there, then it's just not just one.
Yeah, there's options. So I'm trying to decide at the minute, because realistically I need to start growing a portfolio. I need regular cash flow.
Yeah.
And while sourcing is great, obviously it's not regular sort of passive income. So I know that I need to build a portfolio. And so I'm just at this stage now. I've had 2 really good opportunities. Do I try and do them myself and raise private finance?
I think so. You need to go for it.
Yeah, it's hard making that decision, isn't it? I mean, both are really good.
If they're really good, don't give them up.
Yeah.
You can do it. I think you should.
So I'm just at that at the minute. I've just got to make a decision about...
I've made it for you.
Yeah, thanks. About what to do. Yeah. It's just having that confidence in yourself, isn't it? Even though you know the numbers work, you know the renovations, I don't want to take on too much and overwhelm myself because my priority is my bespoke investors and their projects, which is my complete priority. And if I take on 2 more, am I going to overload myself? I don't want to burn myself out.
Yeah.
And that's what I've got to weigh up.
And it's a sensible thing to weigh up, isn't it? I guess. But you just got to go for, I think, you're capable.
Yeah. I know I can do them. I know I can do them easily, and I know they're in my area. I know the numbers work.
Either way, I guess, even if you don't do it yourself, you sell them on, source them on, it's still a win for you, isn't it? And
and I would only ever source on something that I would be interested in buying myself if the situation was right. And that's the exact same with the 2 deals I've got going through. They're both excellent, and if I was in a situation, I would have bought them myself as well. So I'd feel more than confident selling them on, but it's whether I just take the opportunity and try and do it myself. So I'm just trying to weigh that up at the minute, but
keep nudging you.
So but I am speaking with a potential investor later this afternoon. Nice. So that's exciting. See what comes of that. And Yeah, it's just been, well, we had my little boy's birthday as well.
Yeah.
So I found that really, I don't know, a bit overwhelming at the moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I feel like I'm in this sort of thing at the moment where I'm analysing everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's now starting school next year. I've got to make a decision about his schooling, and I'm just looking at him thinking,
How old is he?
Four, yeah. He's a COVID baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, where have them 4 years gone? He's never going to be a baby anymore. He's not a baby. He's grown up, and it's making me feel really sad.
And when he goes to school as well, he'll just grow up even more, won't he? Like, yeah. Oh.
Well, you've been through it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know all those emotions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's a whirlwind of emotions at the moment.
Yeah.
And
how are you dealing with that then? Like, in terms of how you're coping with the overwhelmed feeling?
I'm not really. He was saying to me the other week, he was like, Mummy, why are you sad that I'm turning 4? Oh. I was like, I'm not sad that you're turning 4. I'm happy that you're turning 4, but you're growing up very fast. And that makes me sad because I want to keep him as a baby, but he's picked up on it. And I was like, oh no, I'm really excited for you to turn 4. But I'm just finding it really hard accepting that he's growing up. Yeah. And I think because I had 3 under 3, 3 children under 3 years old, it's just all gone in the blink of an eye. And then I'm starting to have real serious mum guilt. Yeah. Yeah. Like, have I given him enough of my time? Have I given him enough attention? Or has it been on the siblings? Like, has he had to grow up too fast because the other 2 babies come along? And literally, I'm torturing myself about everything.
Like overthinking, overanalyzing things and...
Yeah. Oh. I think mum guilt is really tough, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, mum guilt, I think it's just one of those things that everyone experiences it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very similar. I think I have mum guilt on a daily basis. Like, you know, like we was talking on the last episode, like working, I do the full-time hours Monday to Friday, then I have Monday to Thursday, Friday is my property day. Then I still put Enzo into nursery. Like that mum guilt there, it's just all like you say, are you doing enough? Am I not doing enough? Am I around for them? And it's a big challenge, and I don't think there's a magic cure for it, is there, the mum guilt?
No. Well, like I'd love to know if there is.
Yeah, and I feel like constantly, like, you know, with the mum guilt, especially trying to grow the business, I feel like I've got like two sides, like 2 different worlds. I've got trying to, like, my driven side and trying to push forward, but then I've also got this side of kind of the mum guilt and the family balance. It's just like a whisper in my ear, like guilt all the time, like, but you're doing this, you're not doing this enough here, you need to like focus back on your kids. It's hard. I just don't.
It's like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because like you say, one side of it, you've got your ambition. Yeah. And your ambition is for your children to provide a better life for them. And then the other side, you've got wanting to be the best mum and partner.
It's like
and everything.
War, isn't it? Like, and do you struggle with getting the balance right? Like, how do you kind of balance it? Like, what do you...
Well, at the moment for me, so, and this is something also that I'm struggling with a lot at the moment. So my eldest goes to preschool 3 days, which I feel guilty for, that I send him for 3 days, but the other 2 are at home. Yeah. So the last month or so, I've only sent him for 2 days because I feel guilty. And then the other 2 are with me all the time. They don't go to nursery. But what I try and do is every morning, or most days at least, we try and get out and do an activity. So whether that's like a play group or a class or just even go to the park, then I get them home. Because they're so young, they do go for a nap. And then that's when I concentrate on my work. And then in the evening when Ben comes home. So that's how I sort of try to manage it at the moment. But I don't think I'm always present even in that activity time, because I'm thinking...
Your phone's going or something like that and you're checking it.
Yeah, or you're thinking, oh, I've got to get this done by this time, or I need to phone that person, or like I think you're just always juggling loads of plates. Like you're just spinning loads of plates, aren't you? And I think we spoke about before, as a mum, you've got so many tabs open in your head. You sort of flip from one thing to another. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And it's hard, isn't it?
It's so hard. It is.
So how are you sort of coping with it at the moment? What are you doing to... And have you got support around you?
Yeah, absolutely have got support around me. I think I try and set boundaries. Like I try and, like you said, you said that there's designated time for family time. And like we've just been to Disney, like making sure that if I am busy, it's covered by, then followed by family time.
Yeah.
But even then, like, still juggling it. I don't think I've got it nailed to a T. Like I try and make myself feel better with the family time and set the boundaries. So if I am doing like family time, put my phone down. But like you say, I still find myself slipping back into checking my phone and thinking about other things and not being present. So I have to regroup sometimes and just trying to reevaluate it. But it's a struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to fully switch off.
I don't think you ever get, like, that mum guilt is just constant, like a whisper, isn't it? Like there. And I don't know if you can ever get rid. You can just juggle it. You can just manage it, can't you, I guess?
Yeah.
Best you can.
And how, so like on a weekend, do you do any of your property business work, or do you try and just switch it off at a weekend?
I can never switch off. I think I'm very similar to you. Like my brain doesn't switch off. Like, but I do try and, like, weekends is family time. And if I am going to do some property, it'll be in an evening or first thing in the morning. I try and, they're my boundaries. I try and not let it creep into the day.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good.
But then, again, it doesn't always go to plan. You've got to be flexible, haven't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I try and do. So.
And support around you, do they all support everything that you're doing with the property, like family, friends?
Yeah. I mean, I have got support. I mean, there's been a couple of comments recently that I've quite struggled with, I must admit, like people saying I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Oh, really?
Not because I shouldn't be doing it, but I've chosen a bad time to do property, and that my kids are only little ones and I should be focusing all my time there. And I mean, I know I'm doing the right thing, definitely with my business, growing it right now, because I know where I want to get to and I don't want to delay it. But when I've already got that whisper of mum guilt already, then someone makes those comments.
How's it made you feel?
It just makes me feel a bit crappy. It does. Like, you just question everything, don't you?
Yeah.
So I've got to be really strong will to kind of think, no, I am doing the right thing, but it doesn't help.
And do you feel it's the right time now?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I think if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? Then the kids are going to be older. It's short-term pain, isn't it, for long term? And I struggle it in a not just kind of mum guilt, but like friend guilt, because I am so busy all the time. I turn things down a lot. I feel like people don't want, I don't know, I want to get to a point where I am more present, but I just feel like my time's so spread.
Have you cut yourself off a little bit?
Yeah, not cut myself off, but I do have to say no to a lot. I think I was listening to Dan Hill's podcast the other day, and he was talking about, like, what does success look like? What does success mean? And it is sacrifice, isn't it? And it's sacrificing in the right way. And I just try and just, like, balance it as much as I can. And my goal for 2025, I don't want to touch it too much into this right now, but it is to be more present. And like set clear days and stick to my boundaries.
It's just sometimes hard. I always think this, like, set clear hours, clear days, but then that's fine if it was all on your terms. Yeah. But then you might try and arrange to view a property and they can only do a Saturday,
do a certain time,
or they can only do drop off it or whatever. It's just hard, isn't it?
Do you have support? Like, do you have good support around you?
But it's funny with what you said, because I've also experienced very similar comments recently, because the two babies don't go to nursery, and then it is hard. Like, Ben's working a lot, and then he comes in and I literally hand the kids over to then do my work, whether that's going out to appointments or networking or what have you. So it has been really tough on the two of us. Yeah. And with ours being so young as well, obviously that in itself is challenging, three under three. So we have had a really hard year, and I've had the same comments, and because my littlest was similar to Enzo, he's just one, and it literally pulls, and then you start having that self-doubt, And I'm the same. I know this is the right time,
Yeah.
but you do start to question it and you think, am I missing out on stuff with them? But like, how much more time can you be with them? How much more can you do? But I do feel guilty.
Yeah. And even if you are spending more time with the kids, is it quality? And you can spend as much time as you want, can't you? But you can not be present, and
yeah. Well, some people at home with their kids every day, but might not be present.
Touching on the comments though, like the comments that we kind of shared, I don't think they come from a bad place. It's just, I guess it's people looking from a different angle, isn't it? And I must admit, I do struggle with it.
It's trying to get that balance, isn't it? But I think what helps me, and I think this is the same with you, is just remind yourself why you're doing it. And ultimately, whether it's now or in 10 years' time, you're not doing it to be selfish and for yourself. You're doing it for your family. I know with you want to give your family choices, and I want ultimately that time freedom to be with my kids.
And that's it for me. Time is a big thing for me. To allow me to just do what I want to do when I want to do it, and not be reliant on, or what's the kind of word I'm looking for?
Like restricted.
Yeah.
So for me, even though like I'm really strict in my routine with my kids, like they are very routine. I actually don't want to lead a life. That's because they're so young at the minute and they do need their sleep. But I don't want to lead a life where I'm governed by, you have to be in work 9 till 5. You only get to go out on a Saturday or Sunday, a weekend, or spend, like, even to the point where I've not actually told you this, but
go on.
To be honest, I've not really told anyone about this because it's not the norm. Even to the point where I'm actually, again, I think it's all these emotions coming up, applying for school for next year, feeling guilty, thinking, have I not spent as much time with him before he goes to school? I'm actually thinking about homeschooling.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Only for the fact of purely my reason for doing property is I love to travel. And I did lots and lots of traveling before kids, and it's my passion. And for me, that's what living is about. And I want to eventually be in a situation where me, Ben, and the kids, we're not restricted by a job, a business, time, money, and we can just go off for 6 weeks at a time. And I feel like when you have to reform to what society expects you to be like, whether that's in a 9 to 5 job or the kids go to school, just even thinking about now, because we were thinking about booking Center Parcs again for next year. And then I was like, oh, but
you'll do around school.
He'll be in school, so we wouldn't technically be allowed to go. We'd get fined. And that doesn't sit right with me. Like, I'll happily pay any fine, but why am I going to be restricted on when I take my child to make memories with their family because of a school?
I had to took Ellis out of school.
Oh, yeah, of course.
For Disney,
So how were the school about it?
I didn't really give him a choice. I didn't. To be fair, I did forget as well to
let them know.
Oh, yeah, really
was
bad.
Was she sick?
No, I was honest, and we were in Disney. We're back Monday. They only missed Thursday, Friday. But yeah, like I completely get what you're saying there. Like, why to be dictated, have that freedom and stuff. You know, someone who's really good to speak to about homeschooling. Do you know someone called James Wyatt?
James Wyatt?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I'll put you in touch because he homeschools his children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
like,
he's got
Don't get me wrong, it's
going to come with his own challenges, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's
why not try
it? My kids drive me mad. Like, believe me when I say my kids drive me round the bend. I
wonder what the curriculum is like. It's the same, is it? Or
you don't have to. No, you don't have to follow, and you don't. It's not like you have to be studying 9 till 3.
Yeah,
you can do your own curriculum. There's lots of different ways, and you can do hybrid school and all of this. So it's not that it's not even necessary.
School, they go to a bit.
I'm not really sure about hybrid school, how that works, but
I've heard of that.
It's not that I necessarily want to be with them 24/7, but I want us to have flexibility to do ultimately what I see in the next couple of years, to do what we want to do. And I believe in a good education, but I want it on our terms. And I want us to have that family time. And I think it's all coming from guilt. and thinking where the last 4 years have gone, where the next 4 years are going, and how we can maximize that time as a family and I think life's just so fast, isn't it?
It is so fast. And that's, you was talking earlier about like Bray going to school and like how has it gone? So Ellis is 5, and I do, when you've got so much going off in your head, I do forget like what some things that we've done. Do you know, like you forget big milestones.
Years.
And it's upsetting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just wanted to slow down, like to have the time just to slow down and appreciate and just live in the moment rather than having to think what's coming up next. In terms of kind of, you're very ambitious, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, like going to the comments that have been like people's opinions, really. Like, do you, with like for me, like I start to question it, but I'm very ambitious like yourself. But then if I like stepped back and didn't do what I'm doing right now, I would feel unfulfilled.
Yeah, with how it would affect you actually mentally. And...
Exactly. So then what's best for the kids? Do you know? Like, so that's how...
Because have you always been really ambitious?
Yeah. Like I've always tried to look for ways to grow personally and also support my family. Do you know what I mean? And
and achieve more.
And achieve more. What you've always been.
Yeah, exact same. Always been really ambitious. And I think having children has actually, I know and probably these are where the comments come from, aren't they? Because for some women, and once they have their kids, they do put their career and everything on the back burner to concentrate on bringing that family up. But I felt for me, and this might be the same with you, actually since having kids, that ambition has only ignited even further.
And I think it has definitely for me. I've always been ambitious, but since having kids, I want to be a good role model, especially like for Ellis. And like, it's different, isn't it, sometimes for females? I want to be a good role model to say, look, you can achieve anything you want to achieve if you just like stick to it and dedicate your time. And that, so that's how.
That's a really good point, actually, because maybe for us both going forward, that can be our like strength to get us through that. Yes, we have got mum guilt and that's fine. It's normal and it's acceptable, but just remember, 1, why you're doing it, and 2, you're actually teaching really good values to your children. It might not be the values that everybody else wants to teach, but you're teaching them about chasing their dreams. They can do anything. And just because society says you're a mum and you should be at home with your children doesn't mean you have to do it. That.
Exactly. And either way is fine, isn't it? Whether doing like being like us and wanting to be like driven with the ambition and like wanting to grow. But there's also, it's fine as well to stay at home and things like that. There's no right or wrong, isn't it? You just got to do and what you want to do and
what works for your family. And like what we're doing, 100%, there'd be so many families out there be like, that wouldn't work for us. Like the mum going out in an evening till late or having to take a few days away to go on a course. Obviously, that wouldn't work for everyone. It depends on you, your needs, your ambition, and then what you can manage and support as a family.
Totally
agree. I think as a mum, it just shows you don't have to put your dreams on hold. Well, can you have it all, do you think?
Can you have it all? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I think you can have it all. I think there's going to still always be a little bit of sacrifices along the way, but I think long term, yes, you can have it all.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You've just got to make adaptations, haven't you?
I agree, yeah.
And like you say, as long as you make set family time and it's not just that you're like passing ships in the night, either with your partner or your kids, but you just have those set times, then I think you can have it all. And do you think then, because you went into it for the same reasons why I did, for like time and financial like independence, and do you think property really can give you that?
I think so. I think with property, I think you can either be really, really busy. You can be as busy as you want to be, and isn't it? And I think where I want to get to, so what I've been doing in terms of like next year, I really want to strategize, do you know, like to make sure that I'm not being a busy fool and I've got that, do you know what I mean, time and stuff.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where for me I need to concentrate on building a portfolio to have that like regular cash flow coming in.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, if you pick the right strategies to suit what your needs are, I mean, for me personally, doing like a SA would be too much, I think, if I was managing it myself.
Like I say, it depends, doesn't it? And I think, so we're looking at SA and holiday lets, but it's about, I personally don't want to be self-managing and things like that. So it's about putting the right strategies in place, isn't it, to take that noise away and pressure. Yeah.
And as well, you've got a business partner.
Outsourcing, isn't it? Yes.
So that
it shares it 50-50.
As well, you've gone into it with that in mind. So you even just to balance that pressure a little bit just helps, doesn't it? So I think picking the right strategy is important. Yeah. Having the right support. And again, this links back again to what we said in the first episode. This is why we created Mums in Property. Because, I mean, even just us having this chat, it's just nice because we're talking about these issues and these comments and we're both actually experiencing them.
Experiencing in different ways, aren't we? Yeah. And
so that just shows, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like,
it does.
We're on the same journey, but slightly different paths.
So I'm sure there'll be other women out there that will be able to resonate, won't they, with us in a different way. Yeah. On that note, we put out a post, didn't we, on social media around building the community and how we're going to do it. It came up WhatsApp. We need to start a WhatsApp community. Yes.
Brilliant.
Kick that off.
And also on the back of that, then when we do start that community, if anyone has got any tips or advice for how they deal with mum guilt or just like anything that we can share with people, that would be really helpful.
And in there as well, I was thinking, like if someone is feeling a bit like someone's made, like they're struggling with certain aspects, get it in there, get it in the chat. And hopefully everyone in there can uplift people and support. And well, again, because it's just the same thing. What someone is going through, that someone else is probably like, we've literally had the same comments said to us from people around us, and we're both experiencing it, but we hadn't told each other about that. So if you actually talk about it, it helps, doesn't it?
Yeah,
get it off
and
your
then
chest.
You can reassure each other. No, I think I am on the right path, and I think you are on the right path, and we can't both be wrong. Like, we're both making these decisions. Our children are similar ages, and we're making these sacrifices, but we're doing it for the long goal, aren't we?
All the right reasons, definitely.
So if you could give 3 top tips to our mums listening, whether they're in property or not, or employed, or not even employed, just getting mum guilt anyway, because we all face it, don't we? What would your advice be?
My advice would be to always remember that we're setting an example to his children, and I think that will help us get through the mum guilt. I think celebrating the small wins. So I like to give myself a little bit of rewards, like not big, but when I've set my goals. And
actually, you're really good at doing that.
I am, yeah. Like,
so give some examples of rewards that you do.
Just as even like go and buy a really nice bottle of wine, or treat myself to just something small, a bit of makeup, but just knowing I've achieve something, it just helps me, jeers me along.
And it could even be something even smaller, running yourself a nice bath. Like the kids are with their dad, you've had a good win, go upstairs, have an hour to yourself, read a book in the bath, and just have that self-care.
And then not only just for me, the rewards, like setting up a reward for family time as well, so taking them to Gulliver's, or just something like, not massive things, it's all affordable, isn't it? But just I like that. And then also I would say setting my phone, putting it onto airplane mode, so I'm not getting the pings in the background, so it's just all silent. Airplane mode, phone somewhere else, and then I can really engage with the kids. So they'd be my top tips.
I really need to start using that. That'd be something quite basic and easy to do, but actually must have a big impact. I'm going to start implementing that.
I would definitely. It's been like a God blessing for me.
Yeah, just I think like we said, it's just being able to switch off, be present, and even if it's just for that 1 hour, but they've got your whole divided attention.
Because there's sometimes where you're sitting and even just watching a Christmas film. I found myself doing it the other day. I'm on my phone. And then Ellis is like, "Oh, put your phone down, Mummy," and I'm like, as if she's pointing that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely airplane mode.
Yeah,
Try
because it's so easy to do. It's just...
It is. And it's it's simple and effective.
Yeah.
What
but
about...
they notice it, don't they?
They do. Even just locking your phone away. Put it in a drawer or something.
Yeah. My problem, what I find with my phone is, again, going back to having so many tabs open, is something as silly as like I do my shopping list on my phone.
Yeah.
So I think, I need to add tomatoes to the shopping list. So if I don't do it then, I'll forget.
Yeah.
Or
your brain's so busy, isn't it? Like that creative dynamic.
Or I think, I need to check out that recipe for something. I'll look at it. And it's like we can't switch off. We've got so much access,
you've got to then just eliminate it. The source of the problem is the phone.
Yeah.
Write it down. Get a notepad. Write it down.
I know. And do you know
what?
Write
on the back of your hand.
I do write a lot of things. I'll have to do my checklist.
Do you journal?
I don't journal, no, but I do all like my to-do lists.
Yes.
So like on a Sunday, I will write my to-do list for the week, day by day.
Yeah.
And I do that even though I have a Asana and I set my task. That's probably just doubling up on my workload. But I use Asana because as I go by, I write everything down on there and assign it. And then on a Sunday, I'll write my task for the week. But to stop overwhelming myself as one long list, I write it under each day.
Okay.
And then I go through and I cross it off.
A good thing for overcoming the overwhelm, isn't it?
Yes. Because what I used to just do is I'd have a to-do list on my phone.
It just looks too long, doesn't it?
And then I look at it, I'm like, which one shall I pick? None.
Yeah. You put yourself off doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like doing the to-do list, I do a to-do list and I do it each day. I don't do it for the week, and I probably should do it for the week, but I do it day by day. But it's so good, isn't it, to when you tick off, then cross off. And I always try to go for the hardest things first.
Eat the frog first, like they say.
Yeah. And you know, one thing I've been trying to do this week, like I've been like going back to time and prioritising. Like I've been really struggling with my health, because normally I'm quite fit, I'm quite active, but trying to fit in family life, business, work, and the gym, the gym's been taking
the toll.
The toll. So I decided I needed to join the 5 a.m. club. So I've been getting up. I think you've had a few messages. So just
do you know what? I did think you were up early. I was going to say to you one day.
Because I just feel I need to do it to get everything in. Yeah.
You do feel better, don't you? Because you get ahead of yourself. Yeah. And the kids aren't up.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they're not up.
And do you know, like sometimes, like this week, because I've done the 5 a.m. club and with my to-do list, you know, just like ticking things off in the morning, it feels great. And then it spurs me up for the rest of the day.
You've got a clear head.
Yeah.
And for you as well, because obviously you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
So you've got a busy morning getting the kids ready out the door. Then you've got to go to work. So if you've got things, property looming in your mind, at least, if you can clear that out of your mind, that's half the battle, isn't it?
It is.
So why I do every day is purely because I like to, like, if I know this week I've got to get this and this done, but actually this isn't priority for Monday, I could actually do this on Wednesday. That's why I do it like that. And I just do it in my notepad, but I can see all the days in one glance.
Yep.
And then I just spread out, because if I've got loads of hard tasks to do on one day, I'm overwhelmed and I can't get it done. Whereas if I spread that out based on their priority, it is a lot more manageable. Yeah. And although I need to get better at eating the frog first and getting the
I love that saying.
There's the book.
Right.
So there's a book. Yeah. It's called Eat the Frog First.
Right.
And basically this
the jumpy one then, is it? Is the harder task first?
So basically it's based on don't quote me fully because I've not actually read the book, but I've heard people talk about it. But this guy was given an ultimatum, and he would say he was a prince or something, and he could either live, or if he wanted to live the rest of his life, he had to eat a frog every day. And every day he would leave it until like 5 minutes to midnight to eat the frog. So then all day...
It's been looming over him.
He'd be anxious. Yeah, it'd be looming over him. He'd be building up and dreading it because he knows he's got to eat this frog if he wants to continue to live.
Okay.
Whereas he changed his mindset, and then from the next day, he just got up and ate it straight away. The rest of his day... was free.
It was free, yeah. I
You
like
didn't
that.
have to think about it. So that's where that saying comes from.
Yeah.
So actually that should be our task this week to read that
Yeah.
book. But eat the frog first. So do the hardest tasks first.
Yes, I like that.
I tend to do my easy wins, but I need to get better at doing the hard tasks. And
I do and try and do I have to really try hard, but I try and do my harder ones first.
Yeah.
Like, I think for that reason. Just
where
get it
possible.
Get it over and done with it.
It's like
my
stomach.
your stomach.
Stomach's rumbling.
Sound like an aircraft going up.
Starving.
You're not eating yet, to be fair. I haven't,
No.
to be honest. Another thing for me, with how I am as a person, like, the reason going for the 5 a.m. club as well, because, like, you know, like, if just a small task around the house aren't done, like the washing put away, like that, just when I'm being disorganized and having stuff that's pending and open, I can't function.
Yeah.
But then it's like my own worst enemy. I'll just try to ignore it, but then my anxiety is then growing.
Yeah.
So that's
because you put off doing it.
Putting off doing it. So it's a catch-22, isn't it? So I've just been this week, like 5 a.m. club, get the task, get the stuff that I'm not getting done.
Yeah.
And then everything else is open.
As well, this sort of all interlinks back again to your mum guilt and everything.
Yes.
And it ultimately, some of the things come down to being organised.
It does, because if I'm not organised, my head's not clear. It's just full. And it's noisy. So being organised, it then helps me prioritise the kids and stuff. And I just feel a bit more, just on top and more clear.
I find, again, what you were saying sort of about eating right and stuff. So
it's a big thing, that.
Yeah, and my kids eat really, really well. They eat fresh food every day. We all eat the same meal. They'll eat anything. They'll eat all veg and onions and chilies and curries. I know. So I'm trying to maintain it.
Yeah.
But unless I use my slow cooker a lot. Because I'll go out in the morning, then at lunchtime is when I do my work. Then I have to pick Bray up. So sometimes then, because he likes to come home, if he doesn't eat as soon as he gets home at 3:30, it's tantrum central. And I don't want him snacking, so I try and have dinner ready for so he can have it straight away. But sometimes I'm chasing my tail, like if we've been out and then, like I say, come back, and sometimes I have to make a decision. Do I sit and do my work at lunchtime or do I cook dinner? That's literally what it comes down to sometimes. So I find if I get up a little bit earlier in the morning, get the slow cooker on, because you can do so much, and then it's ready, and I'm not stood trying to cook dinner while all 3 kids are running around screaming and it's hectic.
It's just been definitely just organisation just helps, doesn't it?
And then you feel better because you've all eaten well, you've had good food.
I think that's a really good tip to help, like, deal with the mum guilt. Organisation.
Organisation, definitely. And that doesn't have to be the 5 a.m. club.
No,
because
you've got to find what works. You've got to find what works for people. It might not be 5. It might be like a 10 p.m. club. Like, some people function better in an evening. So I'm a bit more. I struggle getting up.
Yes.
But once I'm up, I'm focused.
Yeah.
I'm an early riser.
I tend to do the 6 a.m. club.
Okay.
So I've, to be honest, I fell out of it as it's coming to the dark nights. I found it a lot harder. But I do now, every Tuesday, I start a class at 6 a.m. with my cousin. We do a weight training class. Nice. And I have to do it at that time because Ben leaves at 7. So I have to, sometimes he leaves at 6:30, but on that day he'll leave at 7. So I have to do my class to get back for him to go. Then I've obviously got to get the kids ready.
Busy, isn't it? It's just, everything's just hustle and bustle. Everything's just fast paced. I just want to be a snail.
I just want to relax. I just want to be on a beach.
But would you, though, with your ambition? I mean, I think it lasts for so long, and then you were like, phone, right, I need something else. I need to create something. I need to do whatever.
I'd set up a little beach hut.
Selling what? What would you sell?
Oh, I don't know. I'd figure something out. I'd have some idea. Something would come to me.
You'd be able to sell sand.
Sell sand to me, but yes, I think organisation, because that's going to hopefully help to reduce a little bit of mum guilt, because you've got your ducks
in a row.
I'm the same. Even just like last night, we got back from Center Parcs about 6:30, 7 p.m. Got the kids in bed and everything. And then I was like, right, I got 2 loads of washing on straight away.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was out today. We've got a party. Then Ben's out tomorrow.
Something similar, you know, coming back from France. I think I just like, you know, I said, right, this is my time now. I'm changing who I am. I'm going to be organised.
Yeah.
Like, got back. And normally when you like all the kids' clothes and stuff, I'd leave it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, right, get stuff done.
Yeah,
get it
take
done.
Action.
Take action.
Be proactive.
Yes. I'm good at taking action in everything else, so why not around the house?
I know.
And just, in personal bits.
I think because it's not your passion.
Yeah.
Housework isn't passionate, is it?
No.
Well, unless that's your thing.
I do like it if I've got time.
Yeah.
And not rushing around.
Whereas property is what you enjoy.
Yeah.
It's your passion. So it's easy to be proactive with property. It's hard with chores.
Yeah. So
Ben always says to me on a weekend, he's like, can we just have a day with no chores today?
Then I can't.
Well, I'm like, yeah, if in an ideal world, but the chore, that's life. There's just always chores to do, isn't
Especially
there?
with 3 kids.
Yeah.
God, my house. Yeah, I'm just literally, I'll tidy one room up and then I'm back in it again.
Yeah, I know.
So, anyway, so I think to wrap up then, let's end on something quite funny. What's been your funniest thing that's happened to you this week?
Funniest thing? Oh my gosh, can't actually think. Has there been anything funny? I don't think I've had anything funny. Apart from yesterday at Center Parcs.
Go on.
We forgot to bring some nappies in, so put my daughter's trousers back on without a nappy, and then we forgot. So it'd been like 2 hours. She got no nappy on, and then she went, Mummy, I've done wee-wee. And we were like, oh my God, we forgot to put you a nappy on. But that was about it. Yeah. That's about the funniest thing. What about you?
So decided when we're leaving Disney in the pissing down rain, drove off with the boat open. I were like, what's happening? All these people are flashing, driving slow.
You didn't notice?
No. They did that jam-packed. We had these 2 blooming balloons from Disney squashed in. Oh, yeah. That's the funniest thing.
Balloons.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, my God.
Oh, God. Did anything fall out?
No, luckily not. I made Dom run back through the car park, though, to double check. But no, nothing fell out. I mean, it was tightly compact.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's squashing everything in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Well, yeah, as we say, we'll get started with our WhatsApp community.
Yeah.
But
that can be one of our main tasks this week.
100%. But if anybody has any tips or ideas that they want to share in addressing mum guilt, or any comments that you might have faced yourself, then definitely please reach out, let us know, because we're all in this together. Yes. We want to share best practice. We want to help each other through.
Yeah.
And we want to prove that us mums are resilient and we can get through this together.
We absolutely can. Amazing.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Real Finance have strong relationships with specialist lenders, eager to support entrepreneurs and business, providing unique and competitive financial solutions designed specifically for you. They are hands-on, supporting you developing your plans before seeking financing. They build long-lasting relationships with clients and lenders based on trust, integrity, and swift execution. Contact Real Finance today and let them achieve your financial goals.